about on time?
2 minutes.
I wish we could make signs.
Almost no.
There you go.
Well, they use
Real good.
Rex is in the house, I guess we can start the meeting.
It's close.
Okay, that's right.
Clocks are wrong.
That's right. I think it's right at 6
That
o'clock.
one is.
Yep, it's 6 o'clock on the dot. Okay, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. And at this time, we will start with our prayer, and we have Evangelist Bill Ullman here to open us in prayer. If everyone will stand.
Father, we're overwhelmed tonight to know that we have official meetings and that we begin with prayer. And we praise you tonight because of every person that's in this place and everything that needs to be decided. We're asking that your presence will be made known and that we'll know that without a shadow of a doubt that Jesus is Lord in our lives. I pray that you'll bring revival to Livingston in every heart, in every church. And Lord, as we pray together, may we all pray the Lord's Prayer together. Can we do that? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive those who debt against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Thank you much.
Sergeant Barlow, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Ms. Bills, will you do a roll call, please?
Councilmember Bell,
Present.
Alderman Elder,
I'm here.
Alderman Langford,
Here.
Alderman Linder,
Here.
Alderman Proctor,
Here.
Alderman Rubel,
Here.
Alderman
At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion made by Alderman Bill Linder. Is there a second? Okay, second by Lance Rubel. Okay, next on the agenda. Oh, I almost forget to vote on this one. Okay, all right, let's vote on it. All in favor?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Okay,
I'm behind. I wasn't here for the meeting on the 30th.
okay.
Just make a note.
Okay, all right. Good catch. Thanks, Dale. Okay,
After that, I'll approve minutes.
okay, that will be correct. You made the motion.
Yes.
After we strike his name on there, he's made a motion. We have a second to approve it once we strike Rex's name.
I'll second.
Okay? All right. Now, all in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Okay, next on the agenda is time for public comments. Do we have anyone for public comments?
Ron Lane, a Livingston resident. New business, item number 3, bid on Hillcrest Drive booster station. We have 2 Hillcrest Drives in Livingston. Which one is this? North or south?
North.
North. Thank you. Is this waste gone? Is this a wastewater pump? Is that what this is we're talking about here?
No, it's
Here.
public water.
It's what, oh, just regular water?
Yes.
Okay, and the location, where's that on North Hillcrest? I live on North Hillcrest.
And, well, it's for the tank on North Hillcrest. It's actually the end of Skyline.
Oh, it's the one at the end of Scotland? Are we still using that tank?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next, do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda?
I have a question. On the ordinance, for the builder's permit fee, I thought we tabled that. David Langford
we tabled it until this month.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm just a little slow.
All right, keep me on my toes, for sure.
That is something.
Does anyone have any additions or deletions to the agenda? Okay, we'll move on to old business and go on to the second reading of ordinance 2025-5-1. And this is an ordinance of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the Town of Livingston amending permit fees for building permits under Title 12 of the Municipal Code. And with this permit, the main change is that the fees for building permits are as follows. 1/2 of 1% of the total cost of the project, or $75, whichever is greater. Do I have a motion? And I do have Mr. Rutherford here to ask questions once we have a motion and a second for discussion.
So what you're saying is, if, and I would just say, the project's $100. So then the permit would cost $50, is that correct, or $75? I'm just, well, I know it would be $75. Okay, let's use $200.
So you,
You want to come up to?
So to give you an example, I think the cheapest permit we've done was for a roof replacement. They said that the materials were going to be $500. The permit for that was $2.50. So put that in kind of perspective, majority of these projects take at least 2 inspections. So $2.50 doesn't even come close to covering the administrative costs.
And if you have any questions about specific projects, you know, that you might ask that might be permitted, he's there to answer those questions as well.
So currently, all the permits that we offer are a demolition, of course, a construction permit, whether it's commercial or residential. We have a deck permit. We have a retaining wall permit if it's over 4 feet high. And we have a permit for roof replacements. Other than that, all the rest of them are like the food trucks and all that stuff.
So you have a building permit, a roof permit, a deck permit.
So if they're building a home, that building permit covers the deck, the roof, all those items that would come with the home, because that's included in the project cost. So a roof permit would be someone that's doing a roof replacement on an existing house, an existing roof. A deck permit would be the same, it'd be on an existing home.
What does the permit cost now?
So right now it's 0.5%
Of the total cost?
of the total cost.
And how large does the deck have to be to get a permit?
So it has to be over 200 square feet. It has to be attached, and most of the decks are attached. If it doesn't meet those criteria, also if a permit's required, if it's at an egress. So if you look at the list that I gave, go to the second page. It says decks not exceeding 200 square feet in area, and these are where there's not a permit required. That are not more than 30 inches above grade at any point, are not attached to a dwelling, and do not serve the exit door.
Where do we get our rules to go by? Who sets our guidelines?
So the verbiage that this right here comes straight out of the 2018 RC code, which is what the
Okay,
city.
who wrote that book?
Uh,
Who wrote that book?
this international code is what the city passed as the codes to follow.
And that's 2018 codes, right?
That's correct, yes.
When does the correct codes come in?
They came out last year, the newest ones, it's 2024. No, this is 2018. We have not adopted the 2024 yet.
That's typical. Just about every city in Tennessee has adopted the International Residential Code, International Building Code, and Fire Code from the International Code Council, which publishes these things. And from what I've seen, typically the most recent version adopted is 2018. I've not seen one in the 2020s yet.
I think Gallatin just accepted 2024, but that's an oddity, so most of them 2018.
And they're not materially different year to year, I don't think.
They'll add a few small changes. And this verbiage here is straight from the code book.
Pardon me?
The verbiage that I gave y'all is straight from the code book.
Well, I think we need to try to cover our costs, but I'm not for sure what the permit should be. I mean, I don't like to compare us to Cookville or anyone else, but what is the surrounding areas?
So I did reach out and try to see, what others are charging, not, like you said, not to beat everybody else. But typically, the lowest I found was $100. And in a lot of cases, they even charge to go back to do inspections, so that's another fee on top of the permit fee.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, our building inspector is gonna get his pay no matter if there's any building going on or not. And people pay enough taxes as it is, and they get less and less. And I mean, myself personally, of course, I'm gotta have taxes, but I mean, I think they're paying enough. And if you want to raise it up a little bit, we'll raise it up a little bit. But now, I think $75 is too high because at the old, whatever I'm trying to say, the high percent of the total cost or whatever, it'd have to be a $15,000 project. And there's a lot of backyard builders that does things that don't come up to $15,000. And I really like this, I really do. I wish the list was longer. I do. But, if you want to raise it a little bit, raise it a little bit, but I don't see why you make it so hard on anybody.
Well, I agree with what Dave said on a lot of issues, but on the other hand, if you raise this, we stay here every budget meeting trying to figure out ways to cut costs to take away from the tax increase. I mean, it depends on how you look at it. You look at it up in this, I mean, maybe you are saving some revenue as far as raising taxes. I really don't know, but
I don't think there's enough building going on to make a difference.
there's, how many buildings and remodels is going on in town?
So, right now, we've got 4 new homes. I'm getting at least, last week, 2 decks, and then also there was 3 roof permits. It's surprising how much is going on.
Well, you drive around town, that is true, and then you wonder why we're not bringing more taxes in as far as property tax, so. That is a very true statement.
Well, I think one more thing to look at too is, regardless of what the fee is, when we do go, at times, it's been beneficial to some of the homeowners where, you know, they hired somebody they didn't know, that maybe they didn't even know they were bonded, and had found some issues that actually it was gonna cost the homeowner in another year or two, or less, because of maybe some work at times, so, anyway.
So I've got one that I went out and looked at last week. They had already built the porch, the covered porch. I did meet with the contractor and homeowner. I did have them open it up so I could actually see. It did not even tie it into the house. The beams were just a single 2x8. They already sagged a good 3/4 to 1 inch. So none of it was to code. I did require them to come and get a permit. I did meet with them and tell them what they gotta do to get it up to code. Like I point out to the homeowner, it's sagging now, it's not gonna get better, it's gonna get worse. So at the end of the day, it's protecting people that are gonna live there.
So David, you're saying you'd like to see the exclusions be more broad than what they are on this?
Yeah, it suit me, it would suit me.
I don't know what that would be, but
I don't know either, but I mean.
I think you definitely need to charge fees for it, but it's something we're all gonna have to face to deal with the time that our people are going out there to visit and inspect the place.
Keep in mind too, these are replacements, it's not repairs. So someone, say we have a storm that comes in and they're just doing a roof repair, there's no permit for that. It's a full roof replacement or a full deck replacement. If someone's out there, you know, putting some new screws in their deck or whatever, there's no permit for that.
So let me understand, this said, did I just understand if you went and repaired it, remodeled, you don't have to get it for?
So remodeling is different.
Oh, when I say that, your frame's there, you just take your boards off, put new boards back down.
Right, so you're just doing a cosmetic repair,
No permits.
no permit. When you get into structural, it'd be like building a complete new deck.
Tearing it completely down,
Completely
starting
down,
down.
yes.
I think we ought to up it. How much, I don't know, because I think we ought to try to recoup some of our costs, whether it's fuel, labor. Dave is right, he's on the payroll, he's gonna be paid whether or not. I mean, I don't, $75, I don't know. $50?
How do we come up with 75?
The $75, I actually talked to the mayor and then gave her figures of what other places are charging, not to be like other places, but then that's where the 75 came up.
average inspection, how long does it take? Just average, across the board, any and all?
So if they were all simultaneous, which they never are.
Correct.
So it can take anywhere from a half an hour to 45 minutes, sometimes longer.
Then you do that twice.
Do what?
And you do that twice.
At least. So like there's some that I've actually met the individuals at the job site. We've gone over how it needs to be done, and then I'll go back and start inspecting once they start building. And most of these are like a homeowner that they're trying to do it themselves, and they just need some guidance.
I want to make a motion that we accept the ordinance.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Bruce Elder to accept the ordinance and a second by Bill Linder. Let's do a roll call vote if there's no other discussion.
Alderman Elder,
Yes.
Alderman Langford,
No.
Alderman Linder,
Yes.
Alderman Proctor,
Yes.
Alderman Rubel,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dale,
No.
motion passed.
Okay. Next on the agenda, we have Allison Hudson from Magnolia River to discuss some GIS GPS training for our water department.
Hi, good evening. Can everyone hear me? Can you hear me?
Hang on just a second, Allison.
Okay.
I was just wondering.
Okay, Allison?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I think that's better. Okay.
Thank you. So, hello. Thank you, Mayor, and all the aldermen. I do apologize, I could not be there in person tonight. I had an obligation in Nevada, so I'm there right now. As you all may remember, Magnolia River has been working on a GIS project for the city for over a year, and we've actually been working for the town for over 5 years. But the next step in the specific project that we've been working on is to ensure a smooth transition over to Livingston, both the office and field personnel. And as part of that, we are proposing an intensive training program. So for this training, we will be on site there in Livingston, coaching the team on every detail of managing the GIS database, updating the maps with new and accurate information, performing field GPS collection, and making sure that all the requirements are aligned with the funding criteria so the city can get their grant reimbursements, which obviously is very important. Also, this project is essential to the city having a more efficient asset management program that supports customer and employee safety and also ensures regulatory compliance. So, our biggest goal really is to give the town all the tools that they need to take charge of the work that we've currently implemented for them. So, in regard to that, we are asking for $22,000 to complete this work. And please, I'm open to any questions that you may have.
I don't know if this will be for Allison or Mayor, but, how many would get the training? How many is the training? Just one or is it multiple?
Well, we discussed that we're gonna have to do multiple people, because we have one that's designated that, is a little more savvy with technology, but we would definitely need multiples trained in his absence or, to carry on because there's, quite a bit of technology involved. So when they come, I also want, multiples to be available to understand our GIS system, which we now, we're able to get some additional that was added into the GIS. So we have our lines and a lot of our assets that we're able to see in the GIS system at this time. So that has had some pretty major progress in the last, month or so, Allison?
Agreed, yes. So it's really impressive, actually. There had been some work done quite some time ago that we didn't realize, and we were able to incorporate that work. And now you have the city, or the town, has a pretty full picture, actually, of what their underground system looks like. And we really want to encourage the current employees to be able to, go out and continue to gather that information and make it more complete and accurate than what it currently is. And I think, Mayor, you're right. The more people that we can train, the better, because, you never know, workforce has turnover. Also, it empowers, new generations in the workforce to have professional growth.
All right, this is over my head. I don't know what the heck you're talking about here. I understand what GPS is and GIS is, but then what do we get for this? Basically, explain it to me.
Okay, so what you've had so far is an implementation of the GIS and system. What we are wanting to do now is make sure that you've got workforce knowledgeable and trained so that they can take that over from us, so that it's not Magnolia River there doing it, it's the town of Livingston employees who are taking that over and able to be out in the field and collect more GPS information and add on to the existing GIS, so that when there's a potential, we don't ever want to think about there being something that happens to the system, but if there is, that they can use this information to more efficiently manage emergency situations and guide their personnel and help, control the safety of the customers.
So this is for emergency situations? Basically?
It's really everything. Right? It's not just for asset management, for everything that you do. So for replacements, to handle emergency situations, it really covers all of your asset management for the town.
So basically what they've done, they've tracked everything we have, our hydrants, our valves, our lines, so that we can better locate and map to help with our leakage that we have, help maintain our system better so we know where it is, because, we have, lines sometimes in places that are difficult to find. So they've gone and, to the best of their ability, located those, used some mapping that we've had, and they've made us a map via GIS to be able to better take care of our system, which we call our assets.
Okay, that's the explanation I was looking for there. I was totally lost.
Did I explain that well, Allison?
You did great.
Okay.
You did better.
Much better than I knew before.
So we have an electronic map of all of our water infrastructure now. That's what Magnolia River has helped us develop. And they are proposing to teach our city employees to do what? Improve upon that map?
To utilize it and continue to expand the map as we add new assets, which would be a valve or a hydrant or a service line, for them to be able to now go in and manipulate it and add those things.
Okay, So go into the electronic computer program and add a line when a new line is put in.
Correct. Yes,
And
we
on
already
top
had
of
that for gas.
Yes, correct. And on top of that, it's also for, and your field personnel are out performing maintenance activities, they're able to add in additional information about your system that nobody knew before, because, you know, they're out there and they have that capability to constantly update. Not only is it just a map though, it's really an analytical system. So you can do modeling, you can look at at-risk programs.
Yes, and on the same system, we do have gas, but this project was currently for water.
Have we currently located all our lines?
We think so. I mean, you know, what we have right now is something that we have just, I'm sure there's probably a few on there that are not, that have been added since this last, the service lines just got added into
Have we
it.
currently located all our valves or shut-off valves and that type of thing? Because I do know when the Church Street deal blew apart over here, we had no way of cutting it off.
Right, I know. So, you know, I'm hopeful that those are in there, and I think that there's still probably some that have been covered over the years that may not all be on there, but that's something that we will be, as things like that happen, we can add those to the map so that we can find those in the future. So,
That's correct, yes.
How do you access this map? Is it an app on your phone? How do you access it?
it's a website,
Okay.
and they're going to have devices that they'll have access to that.
It's
So,
a,
Yes.
just through the website.
it's a subscription, so.
Allison?
So there are multiple ways of accessing it. You can access it through the website. You can also access it on an app on the phone. So if field personnel are out in the field, they have an app, it's called Esri Field Maps. And the map shows up for them so they can make immediate additions or adjustments to that. And there are viewer licenses, so it creates a collaborative environment. So if you were to want to see that map, obviously I can't see you speaking, but if you were to want to look at that, then it's available. We can make that available to you to view and search and understand all of the information that's open.
It's technology.
And the total cost is $22,000.
Well, the 22,000 is for 10 days on-site training and then access to their documents on best practices.
Okay, you said that you was wanting more personnel to get involved in this.
Personnel that we already have.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that $22,000 for the whole bunch, or is that $22,000 apiece?
That's
For every,
for everyone.
And what could the additional cost be that we might have incurred for these services?
so at this time, we would like to have an on-call support project with the town. But that's just if you need additional help, we're here for you to reach out. That does not mean we're gonna charge anything additional. It's only if there are questions or support needs, we're here to handle those. So there's nothing additional. I mean, our goal is to provide you, or to provide the workforce with all the training that they need to move forward themselves.
people will train?
Well, I think that's something that we need to discuss with, Eric and I will discuss it with Allison to see what her recommendations are on, how many people need to be trained on the device, but, just to make it, flow smoothly going forward.
And part of the training process is to come in and understand what everyone's roles are so that we can identify the appropriate people to be trained, not only for field collection, but also for the in-office administration component of it.
Have we already done the first training module? This is for GPS and GIS, right? And then there's 2 more training modules.
So the cost will include every training module that's listed in that proposal. It is fully encompassing. The first thing that we did was implementing the system, and we did do some training at that time, but the workforce has changed. There was, different people that were employed at that time that are no longer there, and so we want to make sure that the active personnel have the knowledge that they need to take this over and, really move forward with it in a competent way.
I can't hear what she said.
All of the training will be included with this.
All of it?
Yes.
Okay.
So did we budget for this $22,000 in our budget?
Yes, and this would come out of water.
Motion to approve. Second.
Okay. We have a motion to approve by Alderman Dale and a second by Alderman Rubel. Let's do any more discussion. Okay, let's do a roll call.
Alderman Linder,
Yes.
Alderman Proctor,
Yes.
Alderman Rubel,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Dale,
Yes.
Alderman Elder,
Yes.
Alderman Langford,
Yes.
motion passed.
Okay. Allison, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you all. I appreciate your consideration and time.
Okay, next on our agenda, we have Main Street Historic District Report with Jean Gann.
Good afternoon, everybody. Give you a quick report. I'm finally glad to say that the courthouse project is underway. I've been up here for years saying it's coming, but finally it is coming. We made a real effort between the mayor and the Chamber of Commerce, myself, going to each merchant on the square to update them on what was going to happen and what we needed them to do to help us all, because of the fact we're going to lose some parking area in the inner circle of the courthouse, not forever, but during the construction. So we're encouraging all of the merchants and business owners to park off-site. We've got a map that we've provided to all of them that we hand deliver to everybody, as well as followed by email, so that they would know where the parking areas were. And with that, we're hopeful that there'll be enough sufficient parking for the merchants to continue business and be as usual without any interruptions. So that project is underway. It's expected to be about a 4-month project, depending on, of course, weather, and we're hoping it'll be a little shorter, but depending on the weather, it could be a little longer. But somewhere around 4 months is the estimate on the progress on the project. On the sidewalk project, we don't have any update. It's positive. I think with some changes in personnel at TDOT, there's been some delays and some mix-ups. So hopefully, maybe by next commission meeting, or committee meeting, we can have a better update on that. Want to remind everybody that we're having our next concerts August 2nd. We have the Garrett Boys and Baker Blankenship at Central Park. We expect there'll be a huge crowd there as well as it was last time. The last concert brought, as we said, about 1,600 people to town, and hopefully we'll see about the same numbers for August 2nd. Then on August 9th, the next weekend, we have Summerfest. We have Four on the Floor with Jay Coot coming as well. And those two are ticketed events, and tickets can be purchased online at discoverlivingstontn.com. The next thing, I handed y'all some pictures that were not in color, but I want to point out to y'all these pictures. We at the Main Street Commission have noticed that anytime we have a big festival, we have people that are far away. We have sometimes some elderly people at those events. We have employed the use of golf carts from the city, and at times we have rented golf carts as well to shuttle people to help get people to the event and then back to their cars. Our commission has approved this request. And I'm here tonight to ask y'all to approve the purchase of a people mover, if you will. Either this one or the other one is more of a golf cart type thing, whichever we can find the best deal on, at a price not to exceed $15,000 to be used for various events throughout the year that involve the downtown area. And that's, other than that, I don't have anything else, but I'd like to have a motion on that if y'all would approve that.
Got a question.
Yes, sir.
I know that you've been hauling people. Do you have to have insurance to cover them people in case one of them falls out?
I think the city insurance would cover us during city sanctioned events, correct?
They should. I'll double check on that too. But it should. Just like our other vehicles. We have to add it to it.
So that would more or less, that'd fall under a city vehicle.
This is a city-owned vehicle,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And we do have the money, excess money in the budget from this year's budget to purchase this. It wouldn't be an extra expense. We had about $80,000 left over that was excess in the Main Street budget. We will spend about $40,000, I think, on the courthouse project that was unanticipated, but that still leaves us with plenty of money to purchase something like this. And we do receive our next funds in September, so just right around the corner.
I'll make the motion if you'll check on the insurance.
Okay, so we have a motion basically contingent upon being sure that we're
Make sure
covered through the city, so.
We're hauling $5 freight.
We can.
That would certainly make me come to the city events more often because I can't walk. And that, I for one would absolutely come here more often.
Second.
Okay, all right, so we have a motion by Alderman Linder contingent upon assuring that we're insured. And we have a second by David Langford.
And as far as which one, it really doesn't matter, whichever one.
Get the Cadillac with the bunch.
We do want to have side shields, so if it's raining, we can roll those down, and I found several online that do have that available. We already are kind of carding people now with city cards and with rented cards. But I think this would make it, as Bruce said, it would make it a lot more convenient for a lot of us.
Is them things electric or the gasoline?
There's both versions, but mostly electric.
That's not a new one, is it?
No.
It'd be a lot more expensive.
This one is not a new one. They priced a new one, but it was 14 passenger and it was $25,000. I would be happy to go with that one, but it was a little more than I thought we should spend at this point. The others, more of the golf cart version, they're electric as well, but they don't have some of the bells and whistles. This one is actually more of a passenger bus, but it's 11 passenger. It's got some pretty neat features to it, but that's one that I've been watching that's still for sale, but it is a used one, yes, sir.
Is it from a dealership or individual?
I believe it's from an individual.
Have you checked to see if it can be worked on, or if there's parts for that type of thing, or how old it is, or what?
Yes, I know how old it is, and there are parts for it, and it can be worked on, so.
What year model is it?
It's a 2011, I believe. Like I said, the new one was about 25,000. This one was a lot less. But as I said, there are also the golf cart versions. We've not decided on one yet. We want to make sure we get the right and best arrangement for the city.
You can get those golf cart versions probably for about, talking about it's fairly new.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been looking at them for years.
Okay, so we've already had a motion and a second contingent upon insurance to spend up to $15,000 on the cart. Okay, we can just take a general vote. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Okay.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Okay, next up we have Zach from the Chamber of Commerce.
Just that. I want to highlight something that, good evening, by the way. I want to highlight something that Gina shared with you all. We had 1,600 attendees at the most recent Live in Livingston concert. The breakdown on that, we finally got the report. So we had 32% of those folks were locals, 68% traveled to Livingston, Tennessee. We had folks from Cookville, Nashville, Kentucky, and folks as far away as Indiana and North Carolina. So that's pretty cool. The current unemployment rate for May is 3.2%. That is kind of in line with the upper Cumberland area. It's below state and federal unemployment. I don't think you all have received a copy of these, is that right? I'm going to pass it out here real quick. Mr. Langford.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So, the Chamber of Commerce, working with city and county, has applied for a 3-star grant. On the back, you're going to see a lot more detail about that. For the Chamber, we can apply for a grant specifically around workforce development and entrepreneurial training. So that's what we applied for. Through our joint economic community development board meetings, it was identified that there was some work that needed to be done up at the airport. So that's what the city applied for. It's a $250,000 grant, no match. So it would be huge if we could get it. I expect here in the next couple of months we'll know whether we've got it or not. And we could get less money as well. But just wanted to share that update with y'all. If you have any questions. Good.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Zach. Just Zach. Okay, last on the agenda is a bid on the Hillcrest Drive booster station, and you guys have this in front of you, and I do have Eric here from the water department in case you have any questions about this. Wascon is really the only one in this area that does this type of work. There are 2 prices here. One is for repair, and one is to replace the pump. And Eric, will you come up here and tell them about the 2 options here and why they went ahead and gave us the replacement, please?
The pump that's up there now, it's got a crack in it. It's 25-year-old. They don't make parts for it. They can pull it out, weld it up, put it back in service, put a Band-Aid on it, and when it goes down, it's done. Or they can put a new pump in that they can get parts for the next 25 to 30 years. And we shouldn't have to worry about it for several more years.
Are you recommending the new one?
I would go with them.
Down here in the notes though, this is just to replace, what, if I'm understanding right, this is just, this cost is just for the plan itself. If you read on down here, it doesn't include them installing it, and it don't include them running back and forth to the shop. Is that correct?
I don't know if that was just sent over. I told them to get it together and send it over to you all.
Number 2 says it does not include field labor to remove the pump and to return the drill and reinstall.
Right, and the freight and the taxes are not included.
Your taxes on it's gonna be on the new pump, your labor and everything, the labor's gonna be more expensive with them pulling the old pump out, welding it up and putting it back in.
Yeah, but they should give us a quote on our thing, on pulling the old one out and putting the new one in. They should have some idea what it's going to cost.
I think personally, we need to go with the new one because the old one's outdated, but we need to know what it's gonna cost.
True.
Is that something that we can find out what the cost is, and then maybe table it till then?
And I don't think it's not an emergent project right
Right.
now, is it?
We have another pump, there's 2 pumps up there, we have another one just like the one that's messed up. And if something happens to it, we can't run this pump, it just leaks. So that's why we have it turned off right now.
And it also says this price is valid for 30 days, and this is the 7th, and this was proposed on June the 4th.
I wouldn't imagine it's going,
Well, I wouldn't either, but I'm just,
yeah.
because Ostron's a liable, reputable business, and they've done work for me, but I just don't think we should vote on something without the truth, close to the dollar amount. In this day and time, you could bid $10,000, come back $15,000. I get that.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You want to make a motion to table this, and then we will get those other, and we'll have them tell us for both option A and B, what we would have on freight and, taxes, et cetera, so. we have
I'll
a
make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Okay. So we have a motion by Lance Rubel to table the pump repair and replacement until next meeting. And a second by Rex Dale. All in favor? Okay, all opposed. Motion passes. Okay. Any other business?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Rex Dale, motion to adjourn, second by Alderman Linder. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?